An extreme heat warning through 7 p.m. tomorrow. Very hot and humid this afternoon with more sun than clouds, high 97. AccuWeather real field temperatures near 110. Mainly clear, very warm and sticky tonight, low 78. I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg on 104.1 FM KMOX.
It is 92 degrees in downtown St. Louis. Transform your home with the beauty and durability of James Hardie Siding. At Siding Express, they specialize in James Hardie siding installation. Visit sidingexpress.com to schedule a free consultation. That's sidingexpress.com. It is 12:03. I'm Debbie Monterey, KMOX News.
This is the Gashouse Gang on 104.1 FM KMOX. Sponsored by Saliga Heating and Cooling, a Daikin comfort dealer. And by Anderson Hospital, a Newsweek World's Best Hospital. Now, the Gashouse Gang on KMOX.
We are live on the Gashouse Gang. You know, some people might speculate, some people might guess what goes on with the team, some people might spitball ideas out there. We go straight to the manager. That's how we do it around here. The manager of the
sometimes
Cardinals.
we speculate. That's like the rest of the week. Every day but today, not on Tuesday.
And after this, we will speculate on what the Cardinals are going to do at the trade deadline. That'll happen after we talk to Oli as we get a couple of days prior to the deadline. But with Bernie Miklas, Chris Ranji, my daughter Audrey in studio today, hanging out. Yeah. Cardinals manager Oliver Marmol is with us. Hi, Ollie.
How we doing?
Doing great. Producer Matt Pajeski, Frank Ladd. We got a whole team here ready to go. And let's start. Let's just get after it right away. I mean, a good win for you last night. A couple of things to highlight. One, excellent performance by Andre Palante. And how about your left fielder? He was who's that guy out there?
No, it was good to get him out there. He's been working hard. Like I said yesterday, this has been a work in progress over the last couple of weeks, the last 2 weeks or so. He's been out there every day with John Jay, and Jay does such a nice job of just programming, like from step one all the way to here's what game you're going to play in, and building him up and making sure that all the fundamentals are covered and he feels comfortable out there. But he's been working hard at it, man. Early work every single day, and then during BP, chasing after balls and getting after it, making sure that he checks all the boxes. But yesterday with Palante on the mound, it's a high ground ball guy, very limited fly balls. It's his best opportunity to just get a taste of it, man, and just get one game under his belt. He was nervous. I mean, pregame, he was all smiles, but you can tell, man, he was nervous as can be. So it's nice to get that first game out of the way. And go from there.
Ali, want to follow up on that? Good afternoon to you, sir.
Good to see you.
The Herrera move is really interesting. I like it a lot for whatever it's worth. But I want to know is like what is the actual goal of this? Is it something where you're going to take a look at it? Is it something where you just want to kind of get him initiated to get started on this? Is this a situation where the hope of the organization is that he can become a regular left fielder for you rather than, kind of moving back and forth?
I think we need to take a long enough look at it to evaluate that. At the end of the day, he's been DHing quite a bit. We don't want to throw him behind the plate with the lower half issues. I think it's a matter of time, but whether that flares up again this season. So we wanted to stay away from that. But when it's this hot out, man, and guys are grinding, it's hard for him to just take up that DH spot every day. You need to be able to rotate some guys through that, Nato and Donovan and Burley and others. So this allows for him to still be in the lineup, his bat still be in the lineup. And depending on what it looks like, man, we can build off of it and see if this is an opportunity that we can run out there more often than not. So he's not going to be out there every day, just to be clear. We have to rotate other guys to do that, but we will take a look at it for sure.
Can I just follow up one more time? And I apologize
to
Ranji and Ackerman. The one of the things that I looked at, I said, this makes a lot of sense. And since the start of last season, when you have right-handed batters that are in the lineup as outfielders, not DH, not any other position, the Cardinals, since start of 2024, their right-handed hitting outfielders ranked dead last in like every offensive category compared to other major league outfielders with their right-handed hitters. So here you go. You got a great right-handed bat here, and it fits frankly a pretty big void. And And I know that there's a lot of hopes that Jordan Walker will also do that as he's come
Sure.
along. But how much of it is a bonus to actually get a good right-handed stick out there?
You highlighted it. We haven't had a ton of power from our outfielders, a lot of slug and production. This allows for the potential of that being the case. But it's a matter of comfort and effectiveness out in left field. If we continue to take a look at it and he looks like he can do the job, then we go into the offseason and we feel much better about what our options are. But I think first step is yesterday. Um, let's get the nerves out. Let's see what it looks like, and then do it several more times to see some action in games, and then evaluate from there. But to your point, the production from our outfield, specifically in some of those power categories, is real.
So what's happening with him is with Herrera is to get everybody as much playing time as possible. As we get closer to the deadline, how much of I guess contingencies is what I'm asking. Knowing that there are players who could be traded, it's possible you have a position player traded that opens things up. Do you already have an idea of how playing time might be affected, knowing who could potentially be traded and knowing what would then open up in the lineup?
Yeah, but you can try to start playing that game, but you don't know who that might be. And I try to not waste a ton of time on that until we have something in place, because then figuring out what that rotation looks like and who gets at bats is fairly easy. But until Mo calls and said, here's what's going to happen and here's the direction we're headed, I try to focus on just managing what I currently have. So once I get that call and we have a better idea, then we'll put that next plan in place.
Which kind of answers Lauren's question here, and I'll paraphrase for the listeners. Sure. It's basically Matz, Helsley, Maton, if they're going to be traded, let's say they all were. Her question is, who would you choose as a high leverage person at the back of the bullpen? I guess you could answer that, or I could ask it in that, do you feel good about the future of your bullpen depth and giving people opportunities in high leverage?
Yeah, giving people opportunity, yes. But if you end up losing your bridge lefty, 8th inning and 9th inning guy, I think the question answers itself. But what it does is create opportunity from being effective and being able to still finish games the way we currently have. I think that's not the same. But until Mo calls and lets me know kind of what we're doing, we'll run those guys out there and try to finish games with them. And then if that happens, then we'll figure it out and we'll give the Riley O'Briens and other guys opportunities to show what they're capable of doing. But at the moment, those guys are on the club and we'll keep using them.
How about just managing the team during this week and managing, I guess, the focus of player? And focus is probably not the right word, but I would imagine that most people down there are thinking about that possibility. I mean, they know trades could happen. They know guys could be gone here in the next day or two or 3. How do you handle that over the next few days before the deadline on Thursday?
This group's been really good. Not to say we haven't had a bunch of individual conversations and make sure they feel communicated with and they're not in the clubhouse just guessing as to what's next. But this group has done a really nice job of not allowing it to be a distraction. It can be if you allow it to be, but they're focused on tonight's game. And I'm not just saying that, man. The guys that have been rumored and, hey, this is what's potentially could happen, they're focused on today. And they've done a really, really nice job with that. Our staff has done a really nice job of communicating with them. Mo as well, of just coming down and making sure he has a lot of individual conversations to make sure they're not guessing. So it's been good. More so than other years. I feel like this is a very focused group. And once it happens, then we'll deal with it. But at the moment, it's not a distraction.
One of the real positives that's emerged recently is Jordan Walker's new look at the plate. I mean, that more open stance, it's kind of striking. He looks even bigger than he actually, he already was very big, but gosh. But is it more than just the change in stance? Like, in other words, what about in between the ears? How much is that plate?
It's a combination, Bernie. I mean, we're seeing the stance is different. How he's landing is allowing for the path to be cleaner and more room for error. his barrel's not in and out of the zone where he's having to time everything perfectly, or he's cutting through the ball. It's either a ground ball or he's cutting through it for a fly ball. It's flatter through the zone. We saw this with, like if you looked at that San Diego, like Manny's bat is in the zone forever, man. And there's so much room for error where if he's late, he's shooting it the other way. If he's early, it's a homer. He's staying through the big part of the field. And that's what we're seeing with Jordan, man. That bat is flatter. And it's allowing for a lot more success. We've seen certain times where he gets jammed or he's late, and it's still that flare that has good trajectory over the infield. And then when he's on time, we're seeing those doubles and balls really taking off to center field. So as he gets more comfortable, it could be a scary at bat for the opposition, man, because he's starting to gain confidence in what he's doing. And his work with Brownie and BA and Packy has been awesome. It really has, man. He's been way more open and willing to try some things. He used a rehab assignment for that when he was coming back from injury. But to the mental part that you just asked, Bernie, the laying off that slider down and away, you're seeing a lot more takes and him recognizing it just a little bit earlier. Each at bat has been better with that. Doesn't mean he's not going to chase down there from time to time, but he's starting to recognize, because of some of the changes he's made, he's starting to recognize that pitch a little better, and is buying him an extra pitch or two, allowing him to kind of do what he's doing right now. So I'm so hopeful that Jordan could become what we initially had in mind. His work ethic, his determination, this kid cares. And I really do like the way he's going about it, man. So there's a lot to be proud of there.
That was a fun seventh inning yesterday with everybody doing their thing, contributing and scoring in different ways. On that note with rehab, how's Gorman and Newt doing as they get going here?
Yeah, so Gorman will be in there today. And then Newt is heading out he's going to work out with us one more day, and then he'll be in the lineup on Wednesday.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Both of them in Springfield, Tom. So both of those will kick off here shortly.
Yeah. Good news for the people in Springfield. Get to see a little star power going on down there.
Hey, Oli, I'm going to ask you another John Mazzella question. I know you love that. All kidding aside, you and I'm sure that you and your coaches and the players, there's a strong feeling down there. It's like, look, man, we're still in this thing. Don't give up on us. Like hold tight. We can get this done. Number one, I want to ask you about that feeling within the clubhouse, including you. But number two, how do you approach Mo and just tell him how you really think? Not that he'll necessarily listen that much, because if he's determined on a particular course of action, what will be will be. But how do you make that appeal to him, if you do?
By playing the game the right way and giving ourselves a shot every day. I mean, I think you have to do it with actions more than words. You just go out there and you prepare your team to take their best shot, man. And I feel like we've done that. We got beat the last two against San Diego. I mean, the road trip wasn't good, and that's on us. But at the end of the day, just going out there and just playing the best game we could possibly play. We've had several conversations as far as how I feel, how he feels, and how to move this thing forward. And the reality is this, man, like when you take a step back and you think about what we're trying to do over the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years, and being able to sit down with Haim as well and talking through what's possible for this organization moving forward. I don't want to make decisions that feel good in the short term, and then we're stuck in this middle ground for another couple years. I want to be able to, even in my seat as I sit here, I want to make sure that we're not sneaking into the playoffs every year. I want to beat people's ass, and like, you show up to the field. There's a difference between showing up to the field and taking your best shot and showing up to the field knowing you're going to win, and once in a while you may get beat. That's different. I want to get to the point where this club and this organization is back to doing exactly that, which is you show up every day knowing you're going to win, and at times somebody beats you. And in order to do that, we're going to have to make some tough decisions. But it doesn't mean that I'm not showing up today trying to win. I can guarantee that.
Oli, you mentioned the Padres game. Why are they such big babies?
Come on now. What are you trying to do?
When stuff like that happens, when there's it's not a beanball war at this point, but there's always, there's always the risk of guys getting hurt. And I know Contreras
really
is upset about that, and he should be.
I thought what I will say about that entire situation, I thought two things. I thought Contreras handled it extremely well, especially being the one getting actually hit hard. Okay. I thought he handled that situation as best as you possibly could. Especially, this is a guy that's super emotional, plays with just his hair on fire, and he controlled himself well. And then I thought the crew, Alfonso and those guys, Lance and that umpiring crew, did a really nice job of not letting it get out of hand. Because you can issue warnings earlier, you can do things that just get you even more mad. And it leads to a real brawl. I thought they handled it well. It's part of baseball. You got two teams fighting really hard. Guys get hit, other side gets hit as well, and we keep moving. But I enjoyed that series.
No, I bet you did. I heard your pregame interview with Claibs on Sunday, and I felt like there were going to be
the edited version.
Yeah, the edited version. The edited version where it sounded like your interview that you said, "Hey, look, nobody got hurt. It's over. We just move on."
That's exactly right. Yeah, I thought it was handled well by everybody.
Yeah, and I like the respect that Machado has for Contreras. That was kind of a cool thing to see them arm in arm at first base. Let's take a quick break. We'll come back with more. This is the Gashouse Gang. It's sponsored by our conversation with Oli Marmol by Siteman Cancer Center, national leaders in cancer. We'll be right back with the Cardinals manager, Bernie Miklasz, Chris Ranji, Tom Ackerman, Oliver Marmol right after this. This Siteman Cancer Center spotlight how innovative immunotherapy is showing promise against aggressive T-cell cancers. Dr. John DiPersio.
Patients have come here from all over the United States and, in fact, all over the world to get evaluated and treated for this treatment. We hope that this can be continued, that we demonstrate in a clinical trial that it's safe and effective, and that ultimately it will be approved by the FDA so it's available to everyone in the world.
For more information, visit siteman.wustl.edu.
We started Neovitin because we wanted to create a multivitamin for ourselves. That's why we focus on quality ingredients and formulas with our multivitamins. Neovitin 50 Plus multivitamins are formulated with over 20 vitamins and minerals, along with our 4-ingredient physician-formulated proprietary blend for the highest quality daily nutritional support. Give Neovitin 50 Plus multivitamins a try for yourself. Find them at your local Schnucks, Deerbergs, and online at neovitin.com.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Hi, I'm Chuck McDowell, the timeshare cancellation guy. In 2011, I founded Wesley Financial Group with one goal in mind: to help honest folks out of their timeshares permanently. Today, I run Wesley with my 2 sons, a real family business, treating every client and every employee like we'd want our own family treated. That philosophy has helped us grow into the largest, most trusted timeshare cancellation company in the United States. Fortune magazine even recognized us as one of the best places to work. Why? Because we genuinely care. In fact, some of our former clients were so moved by their experience working with us, they joined our team so they could help others to timeshare freedom. If you're stuck in a timeshare, give us a call. Let our family help your family.
Call Wesley now for your free timeshare exit kit. 800-581-1414. That's 800-581-1414. 800-581-1414.
104.1 FM KMOX, the voice of St. Louis. Stronger than ever.
He's ready for the 2-2 pitch here for Eric Wagaman. A swing and a miss. That's strike 3. The 4th strikeout for Palante.
Andre Palante, what a gem he tossed yesterday. 7 innings, gives up just a hit in that intense heat and humidity with Joel Pozo behind the plate. Cardinals won the game 7-1. You know I love Pozo. Oli Marmol, Chris Ranji, Bernie Miklasz, Tom Ackerman with you on the Gashouse Gang. It's sponsored by Siteman Cancer Center, national leaders in cancer. Palante was great. You talked about him. Can you run through the rotation for us, just I guess going back a step to McGreevy maybe on Sunday, who, has a bump in the road, and we all obviously were high on him, but it was just, it's a game that you're going to have at this level.
No, it's expected. It really is. And it's going to happen from time to time because this is a guy, we've talked about it. I'll speak to Palante first because it'll lead me to talk about McGreevy's start. Palante got beat up in Colorado. That's the game, if you remember, they had those 5 singles back-to-back all the way through. And yesterday, just to post-game, sometimes I jump on there and it sounds like a broken record because I'm like, hey, he pitches to contact. It's going to lead to games that look like this. Well, yesterday was not much different. They had 5-6 balls that were 95 plus. They just happened to be at people. A couple line drives to center field, a couple ground balls right at people that lead to quick outs. So super efficient, gives you 7, throws 80 something pitches, and you feel good about it. They actually hit the ball softer and found holes in Colorado, and it led to an outing and a line that looks terrible, right? So you just have to know what you're dealing with when he's on the mound. Like, he's going to give you his best shot. And at times when that curveball is in the zone and he can expand when needed and the slider's working for him, because he landed the slider at a higher rate his previous outing, then there's weaker contact and there's awkward swings and defensive swings, and he gives himself a shot. But you just have to know that on any given day, man, the ball in play could be at people and the ball in play is not going to be. With McGreevy, it's similar at times, although he has a little bit more for you. They took a really good approach. You look at Tatis, you look at Machado, you look at Bogarts, you look at the right-handers in that lineup in San Diego. They did a really nice job of just peppering him to right field and staying inside the baseball. They stayed inside the slider, they stayed inside the sinker, and were really committed to doing that. And it led to just way more success than right-handers typically have against them. So he'll learn from that. And what he'll learn is how to make an adjustment, not in between starts, but what adjustments can you make within the start? And that's part of what we talked about when we got him up here. Like, getting feedback from big league hitters is going to be important, because in AAA, man, it's hard for 1 through 9 to take a unified approach the way teams up here will. Okay. So getting feedback from big league hitters will allow him to approach his next start and go, okay, what could I have done different? And how soon could I have made that adjustment within that same outing in order for that outing to go better? So these are great learning moments that'll lead to a much more successful McGreevy towards the end of the season and going into next season.
Oli, I want to ask you about this. You didn't have Arenado in the lineup last night, and he's been scuffling, to say the least. And this is something I've been meaning to ask you, and I just haven't found a spot for it in these sessions you do with us. But one thing that fans will say to me in my correspondence with them is said, listen, Oli needs to give some of these guys more time off, like Arenado, Donovan, say Mason Wynn. Donnie's numbers for whatever have really slowed down after, over the last 25 games or so. And so you see that. And as a manager, how difficult is it where, you want your best talent out there, but on the other hand, maybe guys are just feeling down a little bit, just energy wise. Do you think you could afford to give them more of a breather? Is that a challenge for you?
You can. The short answer is yes. But you have guys that take a lot of pride in wanting to play over 150 games a year, and that's part of their makeup of like, man, I need to train my body to be able to do that. Nato's one of them. Mason's one of them. Donnie's another one. I mean, these guys Contreras fits into that bucket. The last thing you just added is probably the most important. If it's an energy thing, a fatigue, where now they're having to overcompensate with different parts of their swing, or they're not able to make adjustments because their body's just worn down, then absolutely. If it's a performance, man, most of these guys just want to play through that, because not playing doesn't give them the chance to make certain adjustments. So for example, Donnie, I think, could use a day. He's down today. He's out of the lineup. I'm not going to use him. I'm going to let him have a day off. Because I think that one, when you look at the All-Star break, I wanted to play him through the last series we just had. And then we told Nato we'd find him a day here against the Marlins, and we'd find Donnie a day against the Marlins, and then go from there. So the All-Star break, not having one for Donnie, I'm glad he was an All-Star and he got to participate in all the festivities and do everything, but it takes a little bit out of you to not be able to take that 4-day break and just rest. So giving him today makes sense. When it comes to Nato, man, it's hard, because this is a guy that he doesn't want that time off. He wants to be able to work through it and figure it out. So that's a constant. I mean, there's days where I've given him off and he comes in the office. He's like, I know, like I need to be in there tomorrow, and here's why. And he'll talk his way back into the lineup. So yesterday was one of those where we just agreed, like, we're not talking our way out of this one. Take your day. Yachty was no different. AP was no different. They just want to be in there every day. That's what they get paid to do, and they take a lot of pride in it.
And also, you have as a manager, you're going to have those conversations with players that you've told them they can have a day off. We don't always hear about that. And there are times fans say, well, why didn't this guy play? Or how come he didn't pinch hit?
Yeah.
When you say to a player, this is your day, you're off, you're out, how often does it stay that way? As opposed to you get late in the game and you think, oh, maybe I know I told you a day off, but you're in there now. I need you to hit.
No, there's days where somebody's off and I'll tell them, hey, if it could change the game in the 8th or 9th, I'll use you. And there's days like yesterday where regardless of situation, Nato was going to have a full day. So I give them a heads up before the day starts, like, hey, you're completely off today. I remember giving Mason a day and I told him you have a full day off, and 8th inning came around, he's in his cleats and batting gloves on, helmet on, standing next to me like, let's go. So those are the times where, man, if your dudes are that eager to change the game, even when you've told them, then damn it, you better use them, because that tells you a lot about who they are and what they want, which is they want to win. So those type of situations, yeah, you can change my mind.
Nathan has a question on YouTube about Sonny, who's had a couple of rough starts. He's given 11 hits.
I saw that one out. Yeah. I was hoping you didn't highlight that one. I was hoping that thread just kept going up.
Sorry.
Just because, yes, there are adjustments, but I can't, I'm not going to sit here and speak to them because they're strategic.
Maybe
right?
just overall, what are you seeing from him? I mean, he hasn't walked anyone in those 2 games, but boy, he's given up a lot of hits and runs.
Yeah, there's some things that we talk through, and mainly with Dusty, that are strategy-based, usage-based, sequence-based, that he'll continue to make adjustments to. But the adjustments that are meaningful enough to speak to, I won't on the show.
No scouting reports allowed on the Gashouse Gang. That's one of the rules of the Gashouse Gang. Yeah.
We were told that. It was a directive.
That's right. Yeah. Bernie, let's turn it back over to you.
Yeah, I was when we talk about the runway players, and there's quite a few in the category, although I always punch back on the idea that Brendan Donovan's a runway player. I think he's pretty established in the big leagues, Some of my media pals are always putting him on the runway list. So what are y'all talking about? It's been right. So anyway, but you can talk about any of these guys you want, but who in your mind, if you had to this point of the season, if you had to identify a couple of, however many you want, of your younger hitters, your younger pitchers that have strengthened, have reinforced the idea that they're players worth, investing in going forward, who has improved their stock so far?
I'd have to say Burleson has done a really nice job of running with the opportunity given. And for a couple of reasons, we sat him down, and this got out there as far as how direct the conversation was. Like, we can't trust you defensively in the outfield because it hasn't looked good. And you're going to have to do something this offseason to fix that, because in order to get a meaningful amount of at-bats, it can't just be at the DH. We're going to have to trust you out there. And he worked really hard at it. And I think we can all agree it looks better out there, man. He's only going to be, he's not going to have the range that some of these other guys have, but he's been covering some ground and getting to balls he didn't get to last year. And if he can get to it, man, he's catching it. He's done a really, really nice job. But the passion and conviction in which he does everything, man, it's contagious. Like, you sit there and you watch him, and this guy cares, and the attention to detail and how he scouts the opposing pitcher, his ability to have a conversation with Brownie and other hitters as to what he sees. And it's impressive, man. And you can take a step back and project what that looks like over the next several years and be excited about it. So this is a guy who at times it was like, hey, we're going to have to play some other guys, be patient. But when given the opportunity, it's been impossible to take him out. I mean, now he's our 3-hole hitter, right? So he's the one that stands out the most. I'm impressed by what we're seeing post injury with Walker. That's headed in the right direction. And if you would have asked me before injury, man, like, I was honest with you guys, like, there's nothing pointing towards this getting better in the immediate. Like, we're going to have to make some real adjustments, but he's made those and he's committed to them. And he's starting to be, there's a difference between being committed and convicted. He's starting to be convicted about, like, this is what I do every day. And once you get to that point, you start to play with a little bit more confidence, and everything starts to come together for you. So my hope is that we're starting to see that with Jordan as well. But those are the ones that stick out the most. Unfortunately, with Newt and Gore, the injuries have made it a little bit more difficult to get the consistent at bats and just see it over time. I thought Gore showed flashes of that, but not consistent enough for us to sit here and go like keep going. Like there has to be a little bit more of a availability there. But yeah, that's what comes to mind.
One other real quickie.
Yeah.
You got listen, I know Libby kind of hit the wall or whatever we want to call that, but
sure.
Yeah, I would imagine you and Dusty would be pleased with what you've seen so far, and understanding that there were going to be some tough times built in there. That's just the way it works when you're a young starting pitcher in the major leagues. What do you think of his season so far?
That's been a huge success. I mean, the value you create by Libby being a starter rather than a 2-inning reliever is incredible. So for us to make the decision and Libby to be ready for that decision in spring training to come in as a starter, and you talk about someone that's focused. I mean, Libby, the way he prepares, the way he goes about his work, the attention to detail is incredible, man. Like it's what you would want out of a lot of your players. And he's going to continue to grow because he's hungry for it. You can have the toughest conversation with him. And this is one of the worst things you can do, in my opinion, when someone brings something to you. And this goes for me as well. And I value this with players that have it, is become defensive. You can bring just about anything to me. And I'm going to be more curious than defensive. Like, why do you think that? And then I'll assess how much of it is real and how much of it is just your bias. But I want to know, and I'm going to be curious. Libby's the same way, man. You can bring the toughest conversation to him, and he's going to want to know more and understand how that can make him better. And then he'll filter through it and what can make me better and what I don't need. But he's been very impressive. I would throw Leahy into that conversation too. Because you look at what Leahy did early on, and we talked about, man, you guys can run this guy through lefties. Super effective. Doesn't matter righty lefty. He's done a really nice job. And then he had that bump in the road where for several weeks, man, he was getting hit pretty good. And that's what the big leagues and runways about, is the ability to, when you hit that bump in the road, not get optioned out, but give you enough opportunity to see if you can make an adjustment against big league hitters. And what we've seen out of him as of late is exactly that, man. He's okay. This is why I'm getting hit. Here's the adjustment I can make, and then follow through with it and see what feedback you get from big league hitters. And it's been really impressive. So he's put himself in a spot where you can kind of look out to the future and go, okay, does this guy need an opportunity to come into spring training as a starter? And if so, like, what does that look like? You know, he can be a multiple and short stint guy out of the pen, but there's value there. He's got the pitches. He's got the arsenal to do it. That's for sure. So he's another one that fits into that where you feel really good about it.
That was my question exactly. In fact, while you were answering that earlier question, I was sitting here, my daughter saw me looking up numbers on Leahy, because I think, and there's Redbird Farmhands kind of along those same lines, was saying, do you see him as a potential starter later this year? So, yeah, good answer on that. I mean, if you're talking about a guy who's made a climb, there's a guy right there. No doubt about it. Did you have one more, Chris?
Yeah. Are you going to, or I guess the question really is, how do you approach innings workload limits with guys with Liberatore, and how does where the standings sit affect all of that? Because it's still a player. You want to protect his health and his arm. So how are you going to approach all those things?
Yeah, as you guys were, I checked my phone about 5 minutes ago, and it was dusty because we're meeting about exactly that today. And we're going to lay out a couple of those guys that fit into that bucket and start to kind of get to the point where we feel good about here's what those numbers should look like here in the next 30 days, 60 days, and plan it out. But that's exactly what my afternoon will go towards.
Always appreciate.
That's a non-answer for you.
No,
thanks.
well,
It's great.
Well, now we know what you're talking about it today.
Yeah.
So that's it. There's a nugget.
Yeah. And
I think KMOX ought to be in the meeting and we can broadcast it. What do you think? Would that be that'd be
How
innovative,
about
right?
if we're in the meeting, but we promise not to tell anybody?
Just for research. Just for research. Yeah. We love that you start your afternoons with us. I can tell you that. We appreciate it very much. It's great to have you on the show, and best of luck to you tonight against the Marlins.
I appreciate it, guys. Thank you.
Thank you. Cardinals manager Oliver Marmol with us every Tuesday at 12:05. He takes your questions, comments, and ours, and we appreciate the input as always. When we come back, Bernie Miklas, Chris Ranji, Tom Ackerman, Matt Pajeski, our producer, alongside Audrey Ackerman in studio today as well. We're going to break down the trade deadline. We're 2 days away, boys. We got some work to do here. It is all coming next on the Gashouse Gang on KMOX.
The Dave Glover Show.
If you sit down with me and we talk about who I am, what I am, my values, political, voting record, you're never going to walk away and go, that guy's a bleeding heart progressive. I'm just not stupid. And I just don't take bait. And I just don't do things because you tell me to, or that I'm afraid that if I don't, fall in line or get on the bandwagon, people aren't going to like me. Been there, done that for years.
The Dave Glover Show, now on FM 104.1 FM KMOX.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6986. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com
or call 800-575-6986. That's 800-575-6986.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
It is horrible out there. Stay inside. 94 degrees, and the AccuWeather real feel right now in St. Louis is 113. The Penn Mutual Life Insurance Company, pennmutual.com/STL, bringing you the weather. Chances are you have a lot of people who depend on you, your family, maybe even employees. Life insurance from Penn Mutual can provide you peace of mind and protect the most important people in your life. Ask your independent advisor or go to pennmutual.com/STL.
Straight Realty has always been an industry leader when it comes to commissions, so it should come as no surprise that the recent Realtor settlement has only empowered us to continue offering our sellers even better rates. We now list homes for only 2%. Hi, I'm Christina Straight, owner of Straight Realty. Call me, 314-441-4444. Why pay more than 2? You can also listen to my podcast on my website, straightrealty.com.
Commissions are not regulated and are negotiable. Straight Realty is a licensed broker in the state of Missouri.
When you want a brand new kitchen, there's nothing to it. There's a brand new way to do it. 3-Day Kitchen and Bath.
Rochelle talks about her experience with 3-Day Kitchen and Bath.
It was a wonderful experience. I had heard about them on the radio. They come out to your house. They let you know what they do. They let you pick out your features, your colors, and then they come into your home the morning they start. They walk you through, this is what's going to happen, and you leave for a few days, and you come home, and it's done.
Was it easy?
It made it easy because you're not in the middle of a mess for 2 or 3 months. Left on a Tuesday morning, and it was done on a Thursday night. We came home Friday morning early because we were so excited.
What was your reaction when you first saw it?
Wow. Wow.
It's about time.
3 days or less.
At 3-Day Kitchen and Bath.
Hey guys, Dave and Rach here for our good friends at Smart Mouth. So it is unique by the very definition of the word. It's the only mouth rinse out there with 2 chemicals that combine to prevent bad breath for 24 hours a day with just 2 rinses a day.
Never have bad breath again. You can find Smart Mouth locally at Schnucks and Deerbergs or at Walgreens, Walmart, and Amazon. Visit smartmouth.com to snag a special discount on your next Smart Mouth purchase. That's smartmouth.com/Glover.
At CertaPro Painters, we know that a happy place comes in many colors, like ones that inspire a sense of wonder, or a new flavor that makes life just a little bit sweeter, or one to celebrate those moments that lift you to new heights, at home or at work. We'll make your happy place your own. CertaPro Painters. That's painting happy. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated. Contractor license and registration information is available at CertaPro.com.
Soccer fans, St. Louis City SC hosts English Premier League giants, the Aston Villa Football Club. Wednesday, July 30th, 7:30 p.m. at Energizer Park. Reserve your seat for this historic match now at stlcitysc.com/tickets. St. Louis City versus Aston Villa. Presented by Purina.
Today, the Cards, the Marlins.
Ameren Total Access 550.
Cardinals Radio, 104.1 FM KMOX.
The Gashouse Gang on KMOX, sponsored by Saliga Heating and Cooling, SaligaHeatingandCooling.com, and by Anderson Hospital. We are joined by Bernie Miklas, Chris Ranji, Tom Ackerman, producer Matt Pajeski. Let's get Bernie's reaction to Oli. He gave us a couple of nuggets there. One, Donnie's going to have the day off today. He talked pretty openly about his feelings on some of the players and situations that he faces, not only this week, but in the future. Just your takeaway, Bernie, from Oli's visit.
I thought there was some really good big picture stuff. The stuff about how the conversations he has with John Mozeliak and whether he tries to make the case to like kind of keep everything together. And, you know, you get I got the distinct impression that Oli sees a bigger picture here. In fact, I think those comments were outstanding. I'm probably going to use them in something I write where, like, yeah, he's dedicated to winning every game that he can when he goes into the game, but he also sees a bigger picture. I love what he said about it. It's like, hey, this is more about just, you know, getting into the playoffs and basically getting slapped out of the playoffs right away. Like he wants the Cardinals to get to the point with their talent, their development, where they take a team into the playoffs that can actually hurt somebody, right? Actually, you know, beat some teams and go on a run. And to me, that is the perfect big picture view that he should have. Because this is about much more than just 2025. The Cardinals have to get back somehow to that elite level again, where they are a prominent factor in every postseason, rather than just kind of scraping in and hanging on by their fingernails and getting bounced out early. I thought that was I got fired up by listening to that.
Oh, I guarantee you Cardinals fans love that. They ate that up, Chris, because, you know, the Cardinals used to have the upper hand just by showing up. They would show up, birds on the bat. You knew not only did they have stars, but they were not going to beat themselves. And you were going to be up against it when they came to your ballpark.
So the difficult job that Marmol has right now, and I would love to know what the level of collaboration is on this, or understanding between the two sides is, because you've got a manager who is going to be working for a new president of baseball operations next year. And what I would like to know is what Chaim Bloom's evaluation of him is. Has he already determined this is my guy, and I want him to approach the remainder of the season this way? Or is Oli thinking, you know, I've got to find a good way to balance trying to win, trying to make a good impression, but also making sure that I'm giving runway to these players, the right players that we can evaluate, so that at the end of the year, he's not judged based on the record alone in 2025. So I would like to know how much understanding there is between the two sides, if that makes sense. Because, you know, if there isn't a whole lot of that and you're Oli, you're thinking, well, okay, I need to make sure this team wins as much as possible. So when they decide what they want to do moving forward, I can point back at the record and say, well, here's what I accomplished with this team. And this is how good they were, and they probably shouldn't have been that good. You know what I mean?
Right.
So,
no, I'm with you. And yeah, I think Oli Marmol and Chaim Bloom are on the same wavelength and page on this one. It isn't that Chaim Bloom doesn't care about 2025, but for all intents and purposes, this was kind of okay, we got to play a lot of guys. We have to make a really good evaluation of what we have, what we don't have, and then go from there. I think Chaim Bloom was brought in here to do whatever he can to get the Cardinals back to that higher level.
Sure.
And I think that's where his main focus is going to be. I think if the Cardinals miss the playoffs, I don't think it's going to be held against Oli Marmol in any way whatsoever.
Right.
And Oli and Chaim Bloom actually have a really good relationship. This doesn't mean that Oli Marmol's guaranteed to be the manager next season. But I think they're on the same page. They're on the same wavelength. They have a really good, honest working relationship, and I think that's a very healthy thing. So now some fans aren't going to inherit. Chaim Bloom's in a tough spot too, because if he brings back Oli Marmol, even though he 100% in his heart and mind believe that Oli Marmol deserves that, there'll be a fan backlash because Oli Marmol could win 110 games and you'd have people ripping him. So because he's associated with Marmol. I look forward to the day if Marmol's back next season, and I'm assuming he will be, that people that dislike him just remove the Mozeliak factor out of it. Okay, Mozeliak's going to be gone. All right, he's going to be, maybe at a resort. He's not going to be part of this. He'll be enjoying life. Don't hold Oli Marmol. Don't be down on him because Mozeliak hired him. Let's evaluate it based on performance.
Or that Mozeliak fired Schilt, and so it was, clunky, and then this is what you got. That's not the situation that we're in right now. It's going to be a very interesting offseason regardless, no doubt about it. Bernie Miklasz, we're going to take a quick break so we have time to break down the deadline after you tell us about Saliga Heating and Cooling.
I'd be happy to. Saliga Heating and Cooling is a Daikin comfort dealer, been helping St. Louis families since 1927. The same family continuously owns this and operates it. The Saligas. Dan Saliga is my guy, and he's taken great care of this proud family business. The Miklases know all about Saliga, that we've been calling on them for at least 16, 17 years. They've been perfect with us. Nobody wants to have a problem with your heating or air. No one wants to have a problem with anything to do with like indoor air quality and all that stuff. But they'll take care of it. We know that it's we're relieved that we know we can trust on Saliga to get it done right and to be honest about it and to be prompt about it and professional about it and not try to sell us stuff. And rather, they look for solutions that are going to help us out for less of a price. So we don't want any problems with our heating and air conditioning, but if we do, we're grateful that we can call on Saliga. And that's maybe why they've been around since 1927. They have the Priority Club, which is a maintenance program. Big benefit to that, extend the life of your equipment, and it will save you money. So you can find out more about that and everything else with Saliga Heating and Cooling by going to SaligaHeatingandCooling.com. Thank you.
Named one of Newsweek's world's best hospitals for 2025, Anderson Hospital is your hospital for life, delivering exceptional, compassionate care to families across the Metro East. From emergency services to specialized treatments, our dedicated team supports your health at every stage. Experience world-class care close to home. Discover the difference at andersonhospital.org.
Dive into adventure this summer at the St. Louis Aquarium's Summer of the Shark. Get face to fin with some of the ocean's most awe-inspiring creatures in shark-themed exhibits, jaw-dropping displays, and interactive experiences for the whole family. Whether you're a fin-tastic fan or just curious, there's hands-on fun and fascinating facts around every corner at the St. Louis Aquarium. Don't miss your chance to make a splash. Plan your visit today at stlouisunionstation.com. That's stlouisunionstation.com.
Get ready, St. Louis. Two acclaimed performers will headline a summer finale on the Muni stage Thursday, August 28th. International music icon Diana Ross and multi-Grammy Award-winning artist John Baptiste. And this is your chance to win a premium VIP experience to see the show. VIP includes a pair of box seats, a pair of VIP pre-party tickets, free drinks at the intermission bar, and a free parking pass. Register now online at KMOX.com/contest for your chance to win.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. We recently received a call from an injured person. The insurance company had offered them $11,000. We took the case over and got more than $2 million in court. Morgan & Morgan.
Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. We're dedicated to serving people 50 and up like me. Our needs are different.
Big Wireless wants us in an unlimited plan, but if you're not using all that data, you're probably getting used. At Consumer Cellular, we're focused on affordable, reliable plans, including data that suits your needs, not ours. Our plans start at just $20, and you'll get the best customer service in the business.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com/facts or a store near you. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
The success you've already had matters at University of Maryland Global Campus because we're a school for real life. An accredited state university, UMGC lets you earn up to 90 credits toward a bachelor's for prior learning and relevant life and work experience, or transfer up to 12 credits toward a master's. We offer affordable tuition and online and hybrid courses. Classes start August 13th. Apply now and save with no application fee. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chev.
How many of you think taxes are going to go up in the future? And if they do, who will be hit the hardest? Maybe it's you, headed for retirement. You've been saving in that 401k or IRA, and that money has never been taxed. And Uncle Sam is looking at that account like it's a big, juicy steak. What can you do about it? Join the All Financial Group for their Taxes in Retirement Seminar, Tuesday, August 26th or Thursday, August 28th at Fleming's. They believe a financial plan is not a retirement plan without a tax plan. Fund your retirement, not Uncle Sam's. Reserve your spot today by calling 636-230-8824. That's 636-230-8824. Or online at yourmoneymattersstl.com.
Investment advisory products and services made available through Impact Partnership Wealth, LLC, IPW, a registered investment advisor. Neither the firm nor its agents or representatives may give tax or legal advice. Individuals should consult with a qualified professional for guidance before making any purchasing decisions.
Now, back to the Gashouse Gang, sponsored by Saliga Heating and Cooling and by Anderson Hospital on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
We are back on the Gashouse Gang final segment. Couple minutes left. Bernie, just your gut feeling on the deadline here. I know we're going to have a ton of trade deadline coverage between now and 5 o'clock on Thursday.
I mean, I assume the three relievers on expiring contracts will be traded. I have no reason to believe otherwise. I think the Cardinals are committed to reality and understanding that this is about the future. I think JoJo Romero, they ought to trade him because I think the value would be really good since he has a year left. I'm trying to think if there'll be any surprises. I mean, I guess you never can rule it out. I don't think there will be any surprises right now. You know, if I had to have one, if you say, well, what would be the top of your wish list? I would say two things real quick. Number one, that they'd find a home for Nolan Arenado that's agreeable for him, because I think it would be best for everybody. And number two, I hope somehow, some way, they would come out of whatever is going to happen the next few days with a young major league starting pitcher that can be with them for a while. I don't know what that'll take, but I'm just saying that would be on my wish list.
And one more thing I wanted to bring up before we go, Chris, you spent a lot of time in Chicago working. We lost Ryan Sandberg yesterday, who was our generation's Ernie Banks.
Yeah, that's a big loss for them. And we were just talking during the break about how when I was growing up in the 80s, like you were, Tom, he was one of those players that was on the rival. He was on the other side, but you didn't have a problem with him. There was just something about Ryan Sandberg you really did respect as a player. And it's sad he dealt with the cancer going back, I guess, almost 2 years now. He dealt with it. He was in remission for a while. It came back and it had metastasized. So that's a big loss. It's basically their Ozzie Smith. That is the Cubs' Ozzie Smith. He was such a big deal in Chicago and still is.
Yeah, without a doubt. And well said. And Bernie, we appreciate the visit as always. Update, you are going to be part of the Redbird Rush Hour for the rest of the week through the deadline and a big part of our trade deadline coverage. So we appreciate all that you do for us. We're looking forward to hearing from you and seeing what the Cardinals do. Big week. Big week. Absolutely. Amy asked on YouTube if Audrey is a sports fan. Yes, she is. Without a doubt.
Dad made her be.
Yeah. Yeah, right.
Dad said, you got to listen to me. He makes her listen to the show every day.
Yeah, right. She's a softball player and a better basketball player than me. We say so long from Studio B in downtown St. Louis.
Charlie Brennan with Dr. Colleen Bosler from the Audiology Center. What can people expect when they visit